Hi YouTube family. I don't own the rights to this music, but I wanted to encourage you today and tell you to pick up a copy of my book, Falling in Love with Jesus. It's one of the most beautiful books that God has allowed me to write and birth in this season. Some of the beautiful things in this book that I like is the different chapters that I talk about love chisels, and then in one chapter it speaks about how your love grows in the Lord and how you can become closer with Him and building that bond with Him. And I just want to read a little bit from that. I learned from being in the fight of my life that there is hope for my life. And there's so much to the future ahead of that I can ever imagine. I've been holding back myself from fully evolving and becoming the woman of God that He's called me to be. And now I'm coming out of my cocoon of fear and blossoming into the butterfly that He's called me to be. To the eagle that He's called me to be. To the great warrior that He's called me to be. To the apostolic woman that He's chosen me to be. I evolve into the being that He's called me to be. And the fight of my life is not the fight. These components are no longer in components. In doing so, it creates my freedom and deliverance to be all that God has created me to be and more. It helps me to understand that I'm never fighting this fight alone, and God is always in my corner, fighting for me as I overcome my challenges and receive more of His love in my life. As I continue to remain steadfast and dedicated to the purpose that He called me to be and not my own. And that's one thing that really stands out, is that we can try to become what we need to become in the Lord, but in knowing that His purposes stand alone and what your purposes stand on is great in God. Knowing that He has fully made you, He has fully created you, and that you can become whatever He has called you to be in this season. So don't lose hope. If you want to be a best-selling author, write the book. It's not hard. All it takes is you picking up that pen, putting it in your hand, and beginning to write it on paper what you want to write, and telling what you want in your story, whatever your story is. Start off with chapter 1, and then write chapter 2, chapter 3, and so forth. But whatever you do, get started. Begin to write and begin to start working on the dream that is inside of you, because somebody needs what you have inside of you. Somebody needs that story that you have. Somebody needs that testimony that you're trying to not share. Somebody needs what you have inside of you, and the world needs to know what it is that you're giving out. And the way to give it out is to first get it on paper. Begin to start writing. Begin to start sharing what you want to share inside of your book. And don't be afraid, because when you allow fear to keep you in a place of not being able to write that book, guess what? It's never going to get written. And I believe in you so strongly, and I want to see you write that book. I want to see you evolve in your potential and be all that God has called you to be in this hour. I'm so excited to see you evolve and become that, because God is using you in this season to be all that He needs to be and more. So I just want to encourage you to write that book, write that song, write that musical, write that play, whatever it is that God is telling you to write. I need you to go ahead and write it. And I need you to not be afraid as you're writing it. I need you to just go and write that book. Because you know what? When you write that book, somebody's life is going to be changed. And how do I know that? Because I know that when I wrote this book, that a lot of lives have been changed, not just here in the USA, but also internationally. And when we begin to step out of our comfort zone and begin to see how our books change lives, then it makes a difference. So I want you to go ahead and start writing. I'm going to pull up some soft prophetic music, because I just want to speak into your life right now. And I just want to encourage you that you can do this thing. That it's a time of birthing, it's a time of going forward, and it's a time of entering in during this season to become all that God has called you to be and more. And I know that the more is inside of you, because He's told me that, and I want to see you become that and evolve in that and not give up on what He's called you to do. So begin to pick up your pen, pick up your paper, begin to start writing, because now is the time for you to step in. Not anyone else. I'm talking directly to you. Whoever's watching this video right now, I'm talking directly to you, because I want to see you become all that you need to be in the Lord. And He has a purpose for your writing. It's not just any other book. Your book is special. You have to understand that your book is special, and that every person that reads that book, that their life is going to be changed. It's not just any other book. This is a prophetic word that God has given to the world. If you can see this, the falling in love with Jesus, this book means something. This is not just words on paper. This is an opportunity to save someone's life. This is an opportunity to make a difference in someone's life. And we can't just sit around and allow those words to just not go anywhere. So write the book. Put the pen on paper. Trust God. I don't care if you don't have a dime to your name. Pick a pen up and begin to start writing, and trust God for the rest. Because you know what? That's a form of faith, by putting your pen in your hand and beginning to write and trust God that your book will get published. I don't care if you have to do it self-published or whatever way you do it. God is going to birth that book out of you, and He's going to use it mightily to change someone's life. And as you can see, the back cover of the book, the Lord allowed me to get this book out and to write it. And you know what? This was not my first book. My first book I wrote was about millennials, training millennials into management. It's called Hello, My Name is Millennial. But this book, this is my best-selling book. And I am thankful for this, because this book has gone into Canada, it's gone into Africa, it's gone into many nations. And it's not by any power of my own. It's simply by the power of Jesus Christ. And I want to encourage you that you are holding on to that dream so strongly, and you want to see it happen. Now's the time to do it. While you have that free time at home, while you're sitting at your desk and you don't know what else to do, write your book. Write your book. This is the time to get your book out. It's time to write that bestseller. It's time to get that international bestseller out. It's time to get the New York Times bestseller out. This is your season to do it. And I am encouraging you to do it. Write your book. Live your dream in writing your book, because the world is going to be changed from it. And I'm going to be so proud of you when I see you. So comment below, share with me, let me know what you're writing, let me know what you're working on, or how I can help you become that best-selling author, and how I can help you to be all that you need to be in your writing, because I'm so excited for you, and I want to see you evolve and become all that you need to be in this season. Writing is what God wants you to do during this time. That book is going to change so many lives.